My next guest has made it his business to help you prepare for the worst. Jeff Primes is the president of a company that does exactly that. It's called Ready America, and he offers survival preparedness products on his website. It's readyamerica.com. Pretty straightforward. Jeff, welcome to Smart Life. We're glad to have you. I have to admit that I'm one of those people who, I used to live in a great big house when real estate was a lot less expensive, and had a huge cellar, and I kept all sorts of canned goods and prepared stuff. And then I ended up having an estate sale and selling that because I had to move to my little tiny place in California. And so now I'm just going to be straight up with you. I have none of this. I'd be lucky if I had tape and scissors, which, you know, I know those are fundamental things you need in a disaster. Having gone through the tornadoes that I saw in Alabama, I realized that there are a lot of things that I just wouldn't have realized are so, so important. And you say, don't be overwhelmed. Start with the simple. You don't need to spend a ton of money to have a little bit of a leg up if something does come your way in terms of disaster. Where do we start?
Well, that's exactly right, Dr. Gina. First of all, thank you for reminding people that they do need to take some responsibility for themselves.
Yeah, because we talked about it, you can't think the government's going to come in and do this for you. They don't get there for days, sometimes weeks.
I spent a lot of time with the folks from FEMA, with the first responders, and the first thing that the fire chiefs will tell you is, don't plan on us being there. You need to be prepared to take care of yourself for the first 3 days to 7 days in a major disaster.
Yeah, I remember being so surprised that one of the big things was trying to, from this home in Alabama where they were doing triage, this nurse's home, I remember one of the big things was trying to get people over the rubble to the firehouse that did have some supplies. It was just a few blocks away, but getting over that rubble, that feet and feet of rubble that was dangerous with wires down, was a big deal. And you had to take people by wheelbarrow. You don't have stretchers, you don't have ambulances, you don't even have roads. So take us to that moment that we don't want to ever think about and tell us how we can be best prepared.
Well, when you find yourself resulting from a major disaster, the first things you need to take care of are water, because that's the first thing that people are going to need. You need food, you need emergency lighting, first aid supplies to get through that initial period. And so one of the things we do at Ready America is we try and make it easy for people to take those first steps.
Right.
We have products like this backpack, which is a 2-person, 3-day kit, so that you can have this at home, you can have it in your car, you can have it at work, wherever you are, and certainly smaller kits for your children at school, so that they are prepared to get through that first initial period before help is going to come from the government.
Exactly. So what kinds of things are in our little kit here?
So important things to have in the kit. First of all, food and water, which are packed. And it's important to have water that is packed in some form that's not just your everyday bottled water, which has a shelf life of about 12 months. So you put that away in the trunk of the car, and before you know it, that water's not good to drink. All of the water in our emergency kits is 5-year shelf life, U.S. Coast Guard approved. Same with the food bars, which are pre-baked food bars. They're non-thirst evoking. They have the essential minerals and vitamins to get you through. It's not a feast, but it'll get you through that first initial period. Other things that you need are emergency lighting. You need to have, and this particular kit has a great light in it. It's a crank-powered flashlight, radio, and cell phone charger.
And that comes in that kit?
That comes in, yeah, right here in the back of that kit.
Okay, okay, I see.
And what's important when you put a light in is I really don't advise people to put battery-powered flashlights in, because the batteries have a shelf life of a couple of years, and it's the most frustrating thing when you need that flashlight to go turn it on. The light comes on for about 10 seconds, it fades out, and then you're in the dark again.
Exactly.
So items like this where you can crank it and recharge are very important. This item will also charge your cell phone. So in an emergency, you can get through when the power is out. Other things that this item, particular kit has in it is a water bottle and water purification tablets. Again, water is the most important thing. Your previous guest said you need 1 to 2 gallons per person per day. Pretty hard to tote that around if you have to leave your home.
Yeah.
In the wildfires that we had here in 2007, 500,000 people had to evacuate their homes just out of San Diego County. And so you need to be ready to do that at a moment's notice. Having a kit like this packed and ready to go is very important.
So, but you need one of these per person, you think? One for every
Well,
two
we
people?
make different kits. We make one-person kits, two-person kits, four-person kits. Ready America also provides kits to very large corporate campuses. We do everything up to large emergency response trailers that could be for thousands of people on a campus.
Exactly. Well, I think that would certainly give you a heads up, and I think people probably can use these kits for, taking boating trips or other things like that. Having one in your car, one in your boat, one in your home, probably all a good idea.
That's right. Absolutely. You should have one, and think about where your kids are going to be. I mean, you have a lot of kids that you have to think about what happens when that unexpected disaster comes, whether it be an earthquake, the blackout that we experienced here in Southern California. All of a sudden, people are without power.
Right.
My own wife was stranded and couldn't make it all the way home from work because she hadn't put gas in the car that morning. She was going to do it on her way home. So she had to drive to my older son's apartment. She was stranded there. We had to make arrangements to get her from his apartment back to the house.
So these are all a great first step. The other thing I always think about when I'm traveling is, what if I end up somewhere away from home? If I'm on an airplane trip, because I travel a ton, do you have something that's real easy to stick inside your suitcase? That's a little bigger than the carry-ons they'll let you take today. Do you have something that's easy to stick inside the suitcase for traveling?
Yeah, ReadyAmerica.com. We also sell products on Amazon.com and a lot of major retailers. Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart carries a lot of the Ready America products. And we have everything from small one-person, one-day kits. We have little survival kits packed into just the water bottle, all the way up to the large family kits.
Okay, great. And then I think one of the other things, and I don't know if you all do any of this or not, is keeping what you have safe. What do you recommend for that? Because I know, well, you've got certainly looters are one of the primary problems, and I don't know if you deal with that at all, but it's something people do need to think about, because it doesn't do you any good to have this if it's going to get stolen from you. But also, just, things getting wet. You think, well, I'll just buy my own box of granola bars. I won't buy the fancy ones. But there's a reason they're packed a certain way and all of that. What should people know?
That's absolutely true. And you have to take a look at where you are and what the most likely potential threats are. You're a transplant to Southern California, so have you been through a major earthquake yet?
Right, no.
So one of the
looking forward.
One of the things that people think about in an earthquake is that the building's going to collapse on me and I'm going to be crushed. And the good news is that in California, the building codes are pretty good. So it's not the building collapsing, it's all of your valued possessions that are going to fall over and come flying around the room. So we make a brand of quake hold products that strap the furniture to the wall, take your flat screen television and electronics and fasten those so that they don't go flying around the room.
So smart that is.
So being ready to proactively look around your environment, understand what the threats are.
I see even you have stuff to anchor your pretty little things that sit on your glass shelves so they don't fall.
We have Quake Hold Putty, which has been around for over 20 years. It was actually the first product of the company.
So cool. They're going to have to look at your website. I'm so sad because we're out of time, but give me a quick cost on this kit.
The kits range anywhere from $20 to $150, depending on the number of people, number of days.
Thanks so much. Don't forget to check them out. We are going to come back to you in just a moment. We're going to continue with this whole prepper idea and telling you how you can be best prepared in case of a disaster. Then, of course, we're going to go to your calls. So hang on for more Smart Life coming up right after this.